KPI case study, British Airline. What if I were to tell you that one of the most important keys to your organization's success can be found in a very unlikely place? A place many of you may consider to be complicated, inaccessible, and perhaps even downright boring. What if I were to tell you that this key to success can be found everywhere and is already one of the most impactful forces in your organization, just waiting for you to tap on it? The key to success is measurement. Measurement done right can transform your organization. It can not only show you where you are now, but can get you to wherever you want to go. And here is an example of measurement done right with KPIs. An airline KPI. It is about a senior British Airways official who set about turning British Airways around in the 1980s by reportedly concentrating on one KPI. Well, the senior British Airways official employed some consultant to investigate and report on the key measure he should concentrate on to turn around the ailing airline. They came back and told the senior British Airways official that he needed to focus on one critical success factor: the timely arrival and departure of airplanes. The consultant must have gone through a screening process, sorting out the success factor which were critical from those that were less important. Verifying the 5 to 8 critical success factors is a vital step in any KPIs exercise, and one seldom performed. Well, the critical success factors are shown as the largest circle in the diagram. The senior British Airways official was, however, not impressed, as everybody in the industry knows the importance of timely plane. However, consultant then pointed out that this is where the KPIs lay, and they proposed that he focus on a late plane KPI. He was notified wherever he was in the world. If a British Airways plane was delayed over a certain time, the British Airways airport managers at the relevant airport knew that if a plane was delayed beyond a certain threshold, they would receive a personal call from the senior British Airways official. Let's call him Sam. Imagine the conversation going like this: Pat, it is Sam on the phone. I'm ringing up about BA 135 that left Kennedy Airport over 2.25 hours late. What happened? Well, Pat replies, the system will tell you that the plane was late leaving Hawaii. In fact, it was 1.75 hours late, and everything was in order at our end, except we lost an elderly passenger in duty-free shopping. We had to offload their bags, and as you can see, we did it in record time, only half an hour. Well, Pat, how long have you worked for British Airways? Pat, realizing this conversation was not going well, responded, about 30 years, Sam. In fact, Pat, it is 32. In 32 years of experience with us, you are telling me that with 6 hours of advance notice that the plane was already late, you and your team could do nothing to bring it forward? And instead, you added half an hour. Quite frankly, Pat, I am disappointed, as you and your team are better than this. Pat and many others employed by the airline had the not invented by us syndrome. A late plane created by another British airline team was their problems, not ours. Pat gathered the troops the next day and undertook many proactive steps to ensure they recaptured the lost time. No matter who had created the problem, actions such as doubling up the cleaning crew, even though there was an additional external cost to it, and communicating to the refueling team which planes were a priorities, and providing the external caterers with late plane updates so they could better manage re-equipping the late plane. And staff on the check-in counters asked to watch out for at-risk customers and look after and accompany them to the gate. Well, not allowing the business class passenger to check in late again. And this time saying, "Sorry, Mr. Carruthers, we will need to reschedule you as you are too late to reach your bags missing this plane. It is on a tight schedule. I'm sure you are aware that the deadline for boarding passed over 30 minutes ago." Well, the British Airways manager at the relevant airport knew that if a plane was delayed beyond a certain threshold, they would receive a personal call from Sam. It was not long before British Airways planes had a reputation for leaving on time. And the late plane KPI worked because it was linked to most of the critical success factors for the airline. It linked to the delivery in full and on time critical success factor. That is the timely arrival and departure of airplane. It linked to the increased repeat business from key customer critical success factor, and so on. Well, it is interesting that Ryanair, an Irish low-cost airline, has a sole focus on timeliness of plane. They know that is where they make money, often getting an extra European flight each day out of a plane, due to their swift turnaround and their uncompromising stand against late check-in. Well, they simply do not allow customers to get in the way of their tight schedule. And the late plane KPI affected many aspects of the business. For example, late plane will affect, number one, increased costs in many ways, including additional airport surcharge and the cost of accommodating passengers overnight as a result of planes having a delayed departure due to late night noise restrictions. Well, number two, increased customer dissatisfaction, leading to passengers trying other airlines and changing over to their loyalty programs. Number three, loss of potential future customers, as those relatives, friends, or work colleagues inconvenienced by the late arrival of the passengers avoided future flight with the airline. Number four, had a negative impact on staff development as they learned to replicate the bad habits that created late planes. Well, number five, adversely affected supplier relationship and servicing schedule, resulting in poor service quality. And number six, increased employee dissatisfaction, as they were constantly firefighting and dealing with frustrated customers. Well, here's another example, a distribution company KPI. Well, a distribution company's CEO realized that a critical success factor for the business was for trucks to live as close to capacity as possible. A large truck capable of carrying more than 40 tons was being sent out with small loads because dispatch managers were focusing on delivering every item on time to customers. Each day, by 9 a.m., the CEO received a report of those trucks that had been sent out with an inadequate load the previous day. The CEO called the dispatch managers and asked whether any action had taken place to see if the customer could have accepted the delivery on a different date that would have enabled better utilization of the truck. Well, in most cases, the customer could have received it earlier or later, fitting in with a past or future truck going in that directions. The impact on profitability was significant. Well, in a scenario similar to the airline example, staff members did their utmost to avoid career-limiting phone call from the CEO.